Hey. Let's see. Yeah, we just started Act 3. Or have we been in Act 3? I can't even tell anymore. We're getting close to the end. There are only 3 acts in this game. This is Chapter 16, The Pen and the Sword. Hello, brave adventurer. Welcome back to my tavern. Hello, innkeeper. Wait, no, that wasn't his voice. How are you doing? These past few days have been quite eventful. I'm feeling so... I'm feeling so inspired. My first real adventure was utterly exciting. I haven't stopped residing in my memories since we returned. When I got home, I immediately started writing everything down so I wouldn't forget anything. And it reads just like those adventuring tales and books from my childhood. Yeah, I can live with this voice. Sounds like you had a very good time. I can't wait until I'm a full-time streamer and then I can play this game in like 1 or 2 contiguous playthroughs, and then I wouldn't forget the voices each week and have to make them up again. It's delightful to see you flourishing. Actually, I've been thinking about switching careers. Oh, how come? All these adventures, don't get me wrong, they're new and exciting, but instead of experiencing them for myself, it might be better to tell the tales of those brave heroes and heroines around me. Creating stories is much more enjoyable than facing the dangers of adventuring myself. I'd like to note the others mentioned how much they loved listening to your stories. You're right! I think Theo would enjoy this idea as well. You think so? He seemed very entertained on the trip to Diria. Huh. Perhaps you might be onto something here. On another note, how about a drink to wind down a little? Sure, why not? Any specific wishes? Surprise me something that will keep me focused on my writing. Something to ward off distracting thoughts. Nothing easier than that. You said ward off, does that mean defense? Weird. You know there's an intelligence drink right there. What? Alright, he's getting a steel tonic. Peppers? Like, it doesn't seem like his kind of drink. I mean, if that's what he ordered. Ba-ding. Drink for the upcoming best-selling author. Very sweet of you, thank you very much. Oh, this tape's absolutely delightful. I can already feel the words aligning, impatiently waiting to be written down. Don't mention it, I'm always happy to help. Speaking of which, have you by any chance heard of Melina, the famous detective? As it happens, I have. You get to know quite a lot of people when you run a tavern, you know? Have you seen her recently? Sadly, not in a while, no. I last saw her a week ago, if not 2. How curious that you also know her. Meeting such a well-known detective is a fantastic source of inspiration and exciting stories. I've heard stories about her solving the case of the lost familiars in Zoford. Yeah, she solved the case alongside her trusty assistant. Ah, how inspiring. I'd love to tell her tale someday. Maybe I'll combine it with some of the rumors I've heard about one mysterious place in the southwest of Fizoa. Oh, which one might that be? It's a wizard tower, a magical place full of puzzles and mysteries and magic. I've heard tales of it harboring hundreds of books containing lost and forbidden knowledge. But that's not all. There are treasures of unfathomable value and magical trinkets as well. What an exciting thought for a young detective to stumble upon a place like that. Definitely a story I'd read. Promise to send me a copy, please. Oh, but of course, I'll deliver it to you myself. You know, even if we might be a few years apart, Singer reminded me of my own childhood. Sure, the circumstances are completely different, and I was never allowed to wander off by myself. But she seemed a little lonely, just like me back then. Always looking for my own adventures, though she found them in the real world, while I relied on books. I'm glad she found an assistant to keep her company. The life of a detective can certainly be a lonely one. You have Theodore by your side. Do you really think he counts as an assistant? That's for you to decide. He definitely doubles as a friend. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, well, Melly has been missing since the Twilight Flood. No! Tell me you're joking. Sadly not, I'm sorry. Oh no, I hope she's alright. She's probably just investigating the cause of the flood. I'm thinking the same. She might be young, but she's really tough. I doubt even a flood this size would be a challenge for her. Then I'll trust your instincts. Kumo, it's great to see you.
I've solved it.
Solved what?
My parent problem. I've solved it.
Ooh. And how did you do that?
It's simple. I'm here to ask you to write up and hand out a quest for me. A quest to find them and to kill them.
Sorry, did you say kill them?
Yes.
Why do you want to kill your parents?
Isn't it obvious?
Can't say it is.
Their death is what sent me on the bleak path that is my life. It led me towards my destiny, my purpose.
Which would be stealing, revenge, edginess?
Darkness.
Of course.
Now that they're back, it's messing up my purpose. My aesthetic purpose.
Right.
So I must take destiny back into my own hands.
Just kill them yourself.
I don't...
You said you want to take destiny into your own hands. It'd be the quickest way to do so.
I can't do that, I think. It must happen, but it can't be me.
Are you sure you want it then?
Yes, I'm certain. So please, a quest. Have it done. Quickly.
As you wish. I'll set it up for you.
Thank you. I shall leave you to it.
Before you go, how about a drink for the road? Maybe one that'll have you talking about something other than killing your parents?
Yes. I shouldn't allow them a warning. So I must be deceitful about my feelings.
I'll see what I can do for you. First we get CRUNK and then we kill our parents. Let's put a little honey flower in there. Boo, boo, boo. Maybe this will help your heart a little.
It feels nice, really warm, like a hug.
Do you need a hug, Kumo?
I need to go.
Stay safe out there.
Sure.
And Gumo?
Yes.
Have you talked to Fable?
Yesterday, yes. I left to find Melly.
I see. Good luck with your parents.
I don't need luck. I need vengeance.
Does he need help? Wait, you want to kill his parents? It's like, do you want to help them kill their parents? Pardon me? No, of course not. I meant psychological help. They don't look like they're doing too well, if I might say. He's always quite broody and mysterious, but their parents being alive really threw him off track. You wouldn't think that's a bad thing, really. And now they want to kill them just because it doesn't fit the backstory they came up with? This is the possibility for a happy ending to an otherwise dark story. Please don't tell me you're actually going to set up a quest to assassinate them. I'm but a mere innkeeper to this tavern. I'm just following Kumo's wishes. I would have expected you to have a little more backbone, or moral standards, so to speak. You were sure about Melina's well-being and even calmed me down. Can't believe you'd offer such a violent solution. You heard him. He can't even bring himself to kill them with his own hands. And that's exactly why there's still hope. Wait, I don't think I understand. Kumo won't take on the quest by himself. So there'll be someone else that can think of an alternative methods of confronting them. That sounds like a really questionable plan, if I may say so. It'll work out, I'm sure of it. Most likely, it won't be a very difficult quest, especially not if you know your way with words. As a nobleman like you would, for example? Oh! Well, I'm certain this isn't the quest for me, even though I could probably do it. What if the situation actually escalates into violence? I wouldn't know what to do. No pressure, just wanted to make an offer. Do you want a different quest then? Weren't you listening? I don't think I want to be an adventurer anymore. Hearing Kumo just now amplified my doubts. I never want to have to kill anyone ever again. Being a murderer is not how I envisioned my life to be. Of course not. But I also don't know what direction my life is headed from now on. My heart is still so full of excitement after my last adventure. This might only be a tale, but there is this place of infinite knowledge. Oh, are you by any chance talking about the subterranean caves on the plane of Ur? I've read so many stories about them. A hidden yet wondrous place. Though I really doubt a guy immoral like me could ever walk there. But I've heard you can get through the Twilight Chasm. Innkeeper, do you think that's true? That there's a portal to Ur somewhere in the Twilight Chasm? Yeah, well, maybe. This world is so full of wonders, after all. And since the Twilight Realm arose from Ur's dreams, I say it isn't completely unlikely. Just thinking about the caves makes my heart beat faster and my fingertips itch. Maybe I should write a little story about them. Time to write down some key words, or I might lose my ideas. You know, I don't think you need Ur to lead you. Your heart already knows what it wants to do. Huh? Do you really think so? Yeah, it's quite obvious, actually. How about you go write down those keywords now? This might already be an upcoming bestseller. Oh, you really are a sweet talker, aren't you? Thank you for your advice. Goodbye, innkeeper. Until next time, Archie. Good evening, Carolyn. Evening. Has boredom already caught up with you again? It's always on my trail. Guessing this quest is still free. Not for much longer, it seems. Haven't had enough of the undead yet. I got practice with them now. Might as well make some use of it. Fair enough. I thought you'd be looking for Melly instead. Can't say I'm worried about the little gal. But Fable is already on it. I trust him. And I trust Melly too. To come back, I mean. She promised me we'd see each other again soon, and I'm learning to believe in people's words. You should too. I do, but trust is a scary thing. Everything's scary if Fable's to be believed. Might as well pick up the fun horrors, I missed, accidentally double-clicked. Sorry. Like the undead? Exactly. I also gotta check up on my cousin. Those undead snails are sounding a lot more concerning right now. At least they're slower than regular undead. Very common. Thanks. Want to take Archie along again? He might be the calming presence you're seeking. Under no circumstances. No. But if you get bored, he's got very good stories to tell. Shut up. How will we talk about what drink you want then? Well, dearie me, my dearest acquaintances. Innkeeper, Dame Carolyn, you both look radiant today. What are we radiating? I shan't say as it would be too rude. How polite of you. How are you doing, Scully? Just wonderful. Yesterday I had the most delightful tea party with Sir Alphonse and Lady Frostgrip. Alphonse and I were able to learn so much about the times we'd missed, thanks to the young blacksmith prodigy. One of those. This world is truly exciting and a beautiful one. And by tomorrow, the vampire will have forgotten all about it. But that merely means we'll get to remember again. How marvelous. The pursuit of learning is a wonder in and of itself. Speaking of learning, if you'd allow me, I'd like to learn how you're doing on this fine day of ours, Dame Carolyn. You do look a little spent, and I would hate to be intruding on your space. Just exhausted by all these people and their constant talking. You're good, though. Ain't your fault. Ah, I understand the social aspects of life can be exhausting as they come with so many rules and obstacles one must traverse. But throughout this overwhelming obstacle course of mortal interactions, we can find many magnificent treasures, and all of them make these efforts worthwhile. Like quests. I was thinking about friends, but quests too. Are you heading out on one? Yeah. What's its cause? An unusual amount of undead creatures are haunting Fazoa lately. Especially near the Pale Woods. Carolyn's gonna go check on that. An undead gathering in the Pale Woods? But why so? Is there a convention, perhaps? Nah, it sounds more like the violent type of crowd. Unfortunate. It does seem to be that this sentiment is common among my compatriots. Sense and sensibilities are often lost when you are ripped from the afterlife without your soul attached to your body. You don't have a soul? You got a lot of personality for that to be true. That is very kind of you to say, but I'm a mere fragment of my former self. Sounds like an opportunity to find a new self. What a sweet promise. Still, it is strange to have everything you once were forgotten. How can you be forgotten when you're here? We will remember you as you are now, as I'm sure the people did for your former self. I hope I shall grow up into a present memory then, as well as a pleasant presence. You already are. That makes my non-present soul very happy to hear. Dame Carolyn, would you mind me tagging along on your quest? Sounds like a haven of fascinating research, and I have not been able to indulge that pastime for quite a long while. Sure, come along. Skeletons should be great help in wiping out a bunch of the undead. Wiping out? By no means should that be our approach. We should study them, or better yet, strike up a civilized conversation. With enough charisma, I'm sure we can remind them of their mortal consciences. Don't be ridiculous. They'll rip us apart. We can simply ask the innkeeper for some additional defense in case they need some initial convincing. I could offer you some frost armor to go along with it. A few frozen pine cones here and there. You'll have more of a buffer if your words don't take hold. Excellent idea. Or we can just fight them, smashing their bones together until they stop moving. No offense, Scully. None taken, though I believe the cleverer approach would be to rely on speed. Unwakened undead are rather slow. We should embrace this possible advantage. Dexterity then, and defense. You're on the right track with that one. May I suggest adding some of Morganite Lotus Flower to this combination? Much like citrine, it'll bless your weapon strikes and lend you the power of the great dragons. The undead are incredibly vulnerable to holy attacks. Indeed we are. The power of the dragons is a difficult one to harness. I'm impressed by your capabilities, innkeeper. I think your delight should be aimed towards the magical ingredients. To dilute them in such a way is quite a skill in itself, as would choosing our approach to this. We should leave it up to them, correct? Yeah, you figure it out, innkeep. Some additional defense is a given. But what should we focus on, charisma or dexterity? And don't forget those wondrous infusions of yours. I would never. What do we do? Okay, we get defense either way. I feel like charisma is the definite right answer. But I kind of don't like it. Like, you just can't count on the undead to be friendly, and I'd hate for them to die. The only thing I can do, dexterity-wise, is the Swift Strike. Okay, so... and a little Lotus Flower? Yeah. Yeah! Alright. Boop! I've already got the defense. Put in a little brain juice. Then we crank up the dex. Big dex energy. I think it'd be hard to reason with creatures that don't have brains. That's what I was thinking. I trust in your fighting skills, Carolyn, and I know Scully will make for great support. Great. Good to see you found some common sense back there. Scully, let's go slay some undead. At your service, madam. Let us indulge in some violence. Enjoy your travels, your conversations, and your battles. Oof, I've got chunks of a quest, but it all looks like a mess. Okay, let's do the pink one. Our rogue's parents were washed ashore. Primordial Sea. Yep. 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 Primordial Sea has flooded the Twilight Chasm and has ultimately reached Zoa. Maybe it washed up something interesting. Our rogue's parents were washed ashore by the Twilight Flood, once believed to be dead. The liars seem to have were last seen in Borkham. The only solution to your parents faking your death is to hire a hitman. Clearly, fingers crossed, this will pass through youth protection. Yes, yeah, yep. For Batman. If Batman's parents turned out to be alive, you gotta kill him. This one looks burnt. This one looks burnt. There's like no other that really feels burnt. Maybe this one? This one. Okay, so these three all have flowers on the top. Got it. It bothers me that they're the kind of same color. Like, but I see now. You got ghosts down here, you got flame burns here. It's all depends on the same stationery. Missing Wizard of Morlia has always enjoyed some puzzles, traps, and other means of trickery. Never mind. The wizard from the Magocracy has abandoned his tower. The wizard's location is unknown. He seems to be gone for good. Allegedly, the wizard tower is full of loot, magical junk, and banned scrolls. A hoard of any wizard could be proud of if he was still there. The missing wizard has always enjoyed some puzzles, traps, and other means of trickery. There we go. Mission magically possible. That's a cool tower. I try not to read the actual quest description because it's basically what's in the notes. And I don't want to bore you. Kenshin! Thank you for the raid! Welcome. I appreciate the raid as always. You're up late as usual, which I always appreciate. We are towards the end in a game called Tavern Talk, and we're about to enter Chapter 17, In Pursuit of Entropy. Stick around if you like. Hope you enjoy the voices. I'm practicing my different voices. They're not great, but they're a lot of fun. I say that and then I don't do a voice for this particular lady. You know, your quests are getting weirder by the day. I mean, no one's forcing you to take that one. Unless you have one of basilisk swarms waiting in the back. I think I'm good with this one. No basilisks, I'm afraid. You need food? Have a good stream? Thank you, Kenshin. You have a good food. Here to kill some parental figures? You know it. Speaking of family, you haven't brought your sister by in a while. How is she? I don't know. We no longer speak. Oh, I didn't know that. You two were unbeatable when it came to bar fights. Excuse me. Yeah, I love her, but she's become a little too much like our parents. So I need her to love her from afar. Or I wouldn't be loving myself very much. Yeah, you're better off for it. I don't think better is the right word to use here. Healthier, maybe? Happier. Strange thing to say, right? I'm happier without my sister. Who says that? Someone who's gone through a lot. Someone who tried. Someone who gave up. Do you regret it? No. It's not my job to fix her, even if it was. Or even if I wish it was. And that's just what people do, isn't it? Change until you don't recognize them anymore. So one of you is forced to leave before you both destroy each other. Oh, cute little turtle. Yeah, you stand up. Change is inevitable, but not everyone will transform into someone that'll hurt you. Change can be beautiful too. Nice words, but not something either of us believes, is it? I'm working on it. Let me know how that goes. This rogue guy got any siblings? None that we know of. Their parents kind of faked their deaths, abandoned him when he was young. I haven't exactly been writing postcards. Guess no one would handle that very well. What do you think about the whole killing them measure? Adds up to me. It does? Yeah. Not like they ever faced any real consequences for being shitty. Always falls on the kids, doesn't it? You'd think being murdered is an appropriate consequence? It's not about what I think, I'm just taking the job. Right. But I was thinking, think less, or rather, think about what you're gonna mix for me instead. So you're not even hesitating. I'm a bounty hunter innkeeper. Of monsters, I assumed. Not all monsters look unlike us. Thought you don't do charity. I don't. I expect a hefty payment by the end of this. You must have some jewels stored away somewhere, right? I see. So, drinks. Drinks, of course. Murder. How do you like to approach it? With a lot of force. I don't know how strong they are, but I need to be stronger. Maybe some defense mixed in there would be good too. If their attack patterns turn out to be more complex than you thought. Seems like seems like you do listen to me sometimes. Stories of fighting mirages and three-headed antelopes are far too compelling to forget. I'd hope so. Still got any of those frozen pine cones lying around? The ones you gave me for the mountain mimic? Those deadbeats picked up some primordial magic. I could use some elemental protection. Clever as always, Jade. Obviously. Plus that frost armor is pretty cool. Luckily for you and your coolness factor. No. You and your health. I got a big shipment of them in last month. Cool. I'll take some of those then. They're not contending with another approach? No. Unless... I guess there's another way. Is there? Listen, some things are unfixable. I saw both of my legs off before I ever talked to my folks again. But this wound is fresh. Could be possible to delay the inevitable. I could convince him to leave, scare him off, banish them somewhere where they can't hurt him. That way, he can find them later if he ever does change his mind. Maybe this rift isn't completely irreparable after all. Sounds like you're asking for some charisma. And some speed. Should hurry up before he does anything drastic himself. Yep, some dexterity might help too. You never know how they could react. Might have to dodge some blows. Might have to. Got any inspiration garbage lying around? I'm not good with words when it comes to situations like this. I might have to inspire them to be a little less awful. I can offer you either thunder sage or honey flowers, whatever flavor you prefer. You choose. About it all. Charisma, dexterity, inspiration, that's the less violent route. But it's not what he asked for, is it? So I wouldn't complain about strength and dex mix either, as long as you throw the frost armor in. I think my decisions about this would be tinted by my own experience, so please, a little help? Always, Jade. Thank you for asking. And make sure to leave Onyx some leftovers. She's thirsty. Ugh. So, like, the game kind of tells you that, like, charisma is the obvious answer. And I kind of hate it. Like, I wish there was any doubt. Like, part of me wants to just do the violent approach just to see how that turns out. But I don't know, I'm not the type to kill anybody's parents, even if they are shitty. Alright, we're gonna go... I'm gonna do charisma and inspiration. I'll put in some honey flowers. I've killed enough parents recently, you know? Played a lot of V Rising and Elden Ring. I'm done with the murder. Maybe this cause isn't as lost as we think it is. If they can't be reasoned with, I can always trick them and kill them that way, yeah. But I guess I'll try talking first. Let's hope this is the right choice. Don't you trust me? You wish. Don't forget to fill me in on your success. If I have any charisma left in me, you'll be sure to hear about it. Till then, don't tell them what I'm doing. I shall keep this a secret between us. You do love those. Typical Fae, I guess. Don't take too many names while I'm gone. Wouldn't dream of it. Nah, man, you gotta be careful with that ethereal bamboo. I mean, it's super cool and all, but if you cut it the wrong way, it's gonna charge up and whoosh, gone you are. Sucked into the ethereal weave. Oh, well... You know, like those fishies that'll kill you if you cook them the wrong way. Fish? Yes! They look like balls with spikes. Don't know about the name, though. I think you mean pufferfish? That! Whoa, wait. You're also here, lol. Sure am. You're looking fire. Nice drip. Thank you, Nico. Nico, can we stay on topic, please? Topic. Right. So, I heard any type of vibration can trigger a small rift. It's like disturbing a sleeping dragon. Wrong move, and the world's faltering and whatnot. So you're saying if I use my bow the wrong way, I can open a rift and be lost in the ethereal weave? Bet. That would suck big time. But alas, though, can't be entirely sure. I mean, what's the fun in knowing everything for sure? Don't be basic. Embrace the chaos. As long as you don't play any wrong notes, you should be fine. Nothing easier than that. Especially under pressure. Especially then, I'm sure. Then you have nothing to worry about, friend. Might even come in handy one day. Person who made your instrument must have had at least, like, one thought about making it like that. They did. Many thoughts, actually. Good mythical morning, innkeeper. You know, theopractically it's afternoon, but who cares? Good theopractical morning, Hex. Almost there. You forgot the mythical. Good mythical theopractical morning. Better. Okay, listen up. I found this leaflet on your notice board, and I saw you're finally sending someone out to investigate that abandoned wizard tower. And I just decided that someone is me. I've been waiting to see what's up there for a while now. Talk about good timing. Did you say wizard tower? What's the T? Well, there's an abandoned wizard tower near Niverduff on a small island called Morlia. Ah, the one with the worms. I think you can find worms in any ecosystem. That's what they want you to think. Sure. Either way, no one has seen a Wizard of Morlia in quite some time. So they say. And I've been dying to know what might be hiding in this tower. I bet lots of explosives. I'm more hoping for scrolls of ancient magic and semi-cursed objects. Oh, and of course, books of forgotten knowledge. Rumor has it he left behind quite a hoard of peculiar trinkets. Surely, after all, it's as it states in this leaflet, traps, puzzles. Must be something very valuable hidden in there. Maybe even the key to immortality. Or they were bored. Admittedly, I don't do puzzles when I'm bored, though. I blow things up. Johnny out here just asking to get banned. Give me a moment, everyone. Bans for Johnny. Get out of here. Admittedly, I don't do puzzles when I'm bored, though. I blow things up. I love when things go boom. Same. You know what? What? I think you should take me and boy along. Listen, you say trinkets and I'm all in. I mean, the entropy we'd create if we traveled as a trio would be immaculate. We'd be able to tackle the wizard's puzzles and deathly traps with wits and violence. And music. You have my lockpicks. And my Hagem. May the ethereal weave even could help. Maybe. Ethereal bamboo, huh? But an ethereal weave escape would only work with Chabian silk. Huh? The ghost spiders of Chabian use their silk to spin the weave. Good thing these strings are made of Chabian silk, then. Great. We can use your Hagem as our Plan C escape plan. Should the wizard be at home, after all, or foster any monsters and any traps, or your Hagem will be our way out. By dipping into the ethereal weave? Don't worry, it's like dreaming or teleporting. You just have to find your way back out. We'll manage that. I'm a master teleporter. And I'm sure our innkeeper friend here has the right drink for you. Perhaps then they'll give you some brain cells. And quick reflexes, so I'm hasty and can easily evade traps. Good that I don't need help with that either. But shouldn't we be able to fight back fiercely in case something is lurking in the tower? Lots of traps mean lots of fire, so fire resistance could be helpful too. Fighting sounds good. I'd love to kill something, but I hate making decisions. I think the innkeeper shouldn't decide what we make. Okay, so something strong to barge in and fight our way through, paired with fire resistance to survive lethal traps. Or something for our brains. Gives us focus and infused with haste. I'll see what I can do, but don't hold me responsible for whatever ends up happening. We would never, ever. I mean, the only thing that was like on the quest was like traps and puzzles, so yeah, brain juice. Silent Owl sounds perfect. He wants an infusion of speediness. Which one of these things do that? Saber fangs? Neat. Is that the first time I've ever done this? Any others? Golden feathers. Also not good. Golden feathers don't work. Yeah, so saber fangs. Boop. Load it up with brain juice. and a little bit of violence. Bam. That looks good. Here you go, brains and quick reflexes. Thanks, I'm sure this will be of use for solving puzzles and evading traps. I'll be sad if not one single thing explodes. Explosions could damage all the loot. But maybe afterwards we could light a little fire? You know what we should do? What? We should take Jade along. She'd defo be interested in the treasures too. An additional blade couldn't hurt. Any idea where we can find her and keep? I'm afraid she's already on a quest, so probably nowhere nearby. That's fine, we'll poach her. Good luck. Thank you. We shall return with a story worth telling. I can't wait. Bye, loser. Iniko is growing on me a little bit. Like, he's still pretty annoying, but like, I don't hate him as much now. Let's see. Chapter 18, a well-deserved break. Things are going pretty quickly now. Ah, fun voices. Hello, Innkeep. Look what I found. Looks like a rare specimen of Archie to me. I'm one of a kind. Oh, you two know each other already? Of course you do. Pretty much everyone in this city, huh? Of course I know him. He's quite the celebrity in town. Hi, Zan. Good morning. Did you get a little extra sleep tonight? 5:30 is a little late for you, but Monday mornings are hard for everybody. Of course I know him. He's quite the celebrity in town. Oh, I suppose I am. He's Zenith's most famous author. He even survived an assault by hordes of the vicious undead. Author? I guess I really am an author, yes. Bummer. Here I thought I could surprise you. How'd you two meet? Yes, lol. How was your weekend? My weekend was pretty hectic. So, my kids kind of got thrown out of summer camp for trying to wander off in the woods too much. And so, we had to have like a disciplinary weekend where we just practiced following instructions for 3 days straight. And, yeah, it was a lot of work. I'm almost looking forward to getting back to actual work. Ugh. Yeah. Turns out you just can't wander off into the woods as a child. Or you're not supposed to, anyway. I used to. I think he spotted me out on the street. Must have thought I had stories to tell, so he asked me if he could write my biography. A unique way to call someone old. But she does have a lot of stories to tell. Archie, how many manuscript topics do you want to collect before you actually finish something? Well, you see, it's always important to collect ideas. Life itself is the best source of inspiration for any artist. Free spirits, I get it. It's not the same world anymore. Yeah. I mean, my kids are delightful, but they definitely have like ADHD. I mean, it's undiagnosed, but you can see it. It's not a big deal since they're in like the younger grades, like kindergarten and first grade, and so they can deal with not concentrating and not listening to people for a little while. But eventually, they need to learn some tips and tricks to, survive. It's rough out there for a kid. Look at him. He's so eager to write, I just couldn't refuse that look in his big sparkly eyes. Writing down ideas is so much fun. There's a magical detective story, Theo's and my adventure with the undead, and now Una's biography as well. It's fantastic. Suppose you're right. You got this. I wish my mom knew how to help earlier. Yeah, Same. My parents had no idea how to raise me. But I turned out like a big fluffy Santa Claus, so how can I complain? Una, how come you want your biography to be written now? I don't really have a reason. I'm old, and I've seen a lot of stuff. Would be sad if all that knowledge went to waste, right? It's not like you'll disappear any second now, is it? Of course not. I get it. A lot of terrible things have been happening lately. Don't be silly. We'll be fine. It's always nice to see most of your friends return during times like these. Most of them? Stuff like this happens every few decades. It's completely normal. If you say so. You're gonna pay Archie accordingly, though. That's what I'm here for. I'm gonna pay him with drinks. I could also use a little refreshing drink myself. You have a kind spirit. Thank you. That took some growing. Honestly, I was never a perfect child. I mean, never mind. I was a perfect child. But I did have to do a lot of growing, and I'm still doing a lot of growing to kind of be the person I want to be. That's half why I chose, like, this big fluffy Santa Claus VTuber. It's kind of like what I want to be when I grow up, even though I'm already pretty old. You can get the walk done? You're here, but can't text for a sec? That's fine. I mean, I'm just reading a bunch of story. Aye, gotcha. Anything specific you'd like today, Archie? Well, we are on the same path. I definitely see you. I see you too. Just the same as always. A drink to stay focused on my writing, to defend my brain against all those distracting thoughts. Coming right up. Archie's got ADHD too. And he liked the steel tonic, so he gets that again. A little bit of pepper. More a little violence. And a little bit of dex. Like, it doesn't look like a drink for him, but he likes it. Nope. Here you go, a drink to boost your concentration. Thank you very much, dear innkeeper. This is delicious! I can feel an irresistible itch in my fingertips already. Always happy to oblige. So, Una, what's it for you today? Maybe something that give me enough strength and energy to tell this whippersnapper every detail of my life. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, give me a quick second, I'll be back with your drink. I think she likes violence, right? Yeah, so she gets the sailor's courage. And you know what? She gets a pepper too. Lots of violence in this one. The orange juice. And top it off with some dex. Boop. Some liquid stamina for the golden girl. Let's see if your skills are to be trusted, innkeeper. Oh! Archie, I hope you're ready for at least 600 pages. That's a lot. But you already agreed, so you don't have a choice. And now, my dear Archibald, we'll begin with the writing. Thank you for your hospitality, innkeeper. I'll see you later. Goodbye, innkeeper. I'll remember to keep a copy of the book for you. Sign, please. Of course. Very well. Goodbye, you two. That was wholesome. Who's this lady? Finally, my service beasts and I have returned. Welcome back, Minthy. This is the second time she's been here, and it's almost the end of the game. Like, she's a cool design and all. I like the henna tattoos everywhere. And I don't know what you would call that piercing. Like, what is that part of your, like, lips in between your nose and your lips? Like that little flesh canyon. Good to see you, innkeeper, and surprisingly, your tavern's dry interior. Thought you might be appreciating the dampness of almost everything nowadays. Maybe while underwater, but wheels and mud do not mix. On land, I appreciate structurally sound and smooth wood flooring much more than its soggy alternatives. Alright, I forgot she was in a wheelchair. That bad? You would too, just step a few minutes past your tavern, and you might get an idea of things that jammed in my smokes and smushed between Casket and Kane's toes. I'll pass, and besides, stories from my patrons are much more enjoyable. Speaking of, how'd the pearl hunt go? Honestly, it wasn't too eventful, but before I go on, I could do with one of your drinks, innkeeper. Something to keep my mind clear of any irrelevant distractions for my journey back. Let me see what I can do. Let's see. Mind juice. You know what? I'm gonna give you a little pink peak sunrise. I'm gonna put some frost crystals in there. Or fake crystals? I don't know. I just cram random stuff in my drinks. Like, here, I found this on the floor. Looks delicious. There was a weird bong there. Did I get it wrong? May this inspire boundless creativity. Just what I needed. If only I had a boundless supply of this drink while writing at my desk. Unfortunately, my establishment doesn't do deliveries. What a shame. But before you go on, I actually have something else for you. And here I thought I'd have to needle you for it again. What a pleasant surprise. My favorite kind. Here, a completely proofread manuscript, I hope. Now I remember. She asked me to read a book. This is real life. I would have failed that mission hard. I certainly hope it's completed, since my retrieval and your proofreading have been such a long time in the making, yes? Right. Long in the making. Should probably wash that red ink off your hands before it stains your mugs. Oh, right. I was editing my recipes all night. Crazy story, actually, for another time, that is. I see. I will say, it's good to have these papers back in my hands. May I inquire as to why you asked for them back now? I've decided to finally publish the book. What I've written about is very dear to my heart, and I'm happy to finally get to share my writing with the world. Minthy, the author, has a nice ring to it. It'll be Mackenzie Cutran Pechan, actually. A very nice pen name. It's finally time to choose one, and something universal at that. Procrastination is a curse all of its own. Sure is. So about the pearl, or pearls, I'm actually kind of wondering about pen names. Like, how common is that? I feel like it's super common. How many authors use pen names, and how many of them are best-selling authors, I wonder. Protection pearls, like I said, it wasn't too eventful. I had tea with the Banshee of Lonesome Lagoon, and she traded me the pearls for objects of her desire. Mostly, I promised her a signed copy of the book. Good for her. You know, I've been meaning to ask, if I may. What do you need the pearls for exactly? I know you're often looking for them, but I was never quite sure why. Well, I'm sure you remember the curse I was bestowed with. Yeah? The curse of parasitic rings that amplify your magic to a painful degree? Exactly those. It caused quite a lot of issues for me and my body. Sometimes it feels like the magic is eating away at me, slowly feasting on my organs and nerves. It's tearing me apart from the inside out as it gradually takes my health and life. The protection pearls help me keep the mana in check. They bring it down to manageable levels. It helps with the pain a lot. So you're saying you turn the pearls into a drink? Wonderful to see that's your first solution to everything. Yes, on occasion. Mostly I grind them into ink for my tattoos. They're very versatile little beauties. Oh, that's what you got. I'm happy you could find some then. Now that I think about it, care to share? I'm sure they'd be great for my drinks. Not so fast. For most people, they just amplify mana to ridiculous and dangerous degrees. And I don't want to be held responsible for the chaos your patrons could cause. However, maybe I could offer something less extreme but still energizing. Here. This is your infamous coffee recipe? After all these years, you finally trust me with it? It's time. I think you can finally make it without poisoning someone. I'll do my best. Thank you, Minthy. I really want to see this drink. Cursed coffee. Oh, I like it. There's a little spooky steam. Another fight drink. We still haven't gotten a new dex drink yet. And I think coffee would be the thing. Perhaps it will also help you keep your promises in time? Anyhow, I think we're due to take our leave. Need to make some ink? Something like that. Plus, I promised Casket and Kane we'd check it if any primordial tennis balls got washed up in the flood. Baya might be able to make you some moss balls. What a perfect excuse to catch up with her. Is she around? More frequently recently. It's nice. A miracle she still comes around after you exercised her favorite bog body. We were young and inexperienced. It happens. That it does. It was lovely to see you again, Innkeeper. Likewise. Best of luck on your journey, and don't forget to send me a copy of that book. If you promise not to forget about its existence this time, I'll do my very best. I know you will, friend. I know you will. Nom 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 nom. Chapter 19, The Remnants. I might have thrown in an extra syllable in there, but it felt appropriate. Catalage. Jade, welcome back. Was your quest successful? When have I ever failed? Well, you do look surprisingly unbloodied. Also, hello, Kumo. Kumo? Who's Kumo? That guy. New name, I'm guessing? No. No new names here. Never had a name. Don't even know what names are. I'm just supposed to go along with that? You're supposed to make me a drink. Then we can talk. Fair enough. What can I get you? I've still got plans after this, but Onyx is pretty tired. Give me something that'll keep her up. Get her to keep up with my speed. If I ever let her have a sip. Anything for Onyx. Let me guess, you want Dex. I think I have it memorized. Put in 3 of the green things. And a little bit of this. And a little bit of that. Yeah. I did it. A drink for Onyx and you, but mostly Onyx. Not too bad, concerning you to see you know me so well. Being a regular does have its perks. So, names. Let's start with the story first. You love those, right? You know it. I'll spare you the details of my journey to Borkham, though I didn't miss the chance to make some extra money along the way. Everyone thought I was the right woman for their jobs. They helped me with the quest, too. Squeezed a good description of the renegade parents out of some Red Dune merchant.
Thanks, Granddad.
Hey, thank you for the follow, Baby Pink. Baby Pink VT, which means I assume you're a VTuber, and I will check you out later. Who is in deep dispute with a blue-crowned elephant. I'd love to hear that story, actually. Not my problem. Asking a couple of pointed questions got me to the inn the deadbeats were staying at. Problem with people is, can't exactly kill them in broad daylight. Monsters, you'd be thanked for doing so. But with people, you gotta be patient. So I did what anyone would have done in my situation. Posed as a tour guide. And they believed you? Sure did. Inigo was right, your drinks are great for pulling scams. Happy to hear that. Offered them a tour of nearby Wadden Sea. And I led them to an area I knew was shunned by actual tour guides. My model is so cute, thank you. Because of the unpredictable tides. I like my VTuber model. It came out like exactly how I described it. I gave the artist a picture of me, a picture of Chibi Santa Claus, and a picture of my uncle, and I was like, mix these all together. Because this is how I expect to look when I get older. Like, I'm heading there. I don't have all the gray hairs yet. Like, it's not pure gray, but they're definitely in there. And so this is who I aspire to be. In fact, let me stand up a little straighter for you. There we go. Gotta show off the whole cable knit sweater, you know? Gave them a spiel about how a battle of the Order of Starlight took place there, yada yada yada. Pretty soon their eyes were glued to some starfish playing in the mud. Great bod, Grandpa, right? I've been working on it for some time. This is all exercise and no diet. I recommend it for everybody. It's wonderful. I've got surprisingly healthy blood, but I look like I don't. I still eat tons of sweets. Pretty soon their eyes were glued to some starfish playing in the mud. It was the perfect opportunity to get it over with quickly. Obviously, I wasn't going to kill them just then. I needed a chance to run, but I had to scare them first. Raised my spear right up above my head. I was going for a warning strike when I heard the zinging sound. I deflected the knight that was flung my way at the last second. It shattered against the ground. All three of us turned and saw this cloaked Echo reaching for another knife. He had his hood pulled up, knives and daggers strapped all over his body. Even the air seemed to go darker around him. Looked like a real shadow bane. I trained under them. Impressive. Those deadbeats thought I was protecting them from him. Should have seen the look on their faces when I said I was there to kill them. I turned back, wanting to refocus my warning strike, when I was interrupted by a simple "Stop!" It was said in a deep, raspy, incredibly fake voice that sounded like some sort of proper degenerate. Likely the two bums thought they were fighting about who'd get to kill them. Their approach to the situation was to immediately try and bribe us. I told them to shut it. They asked me what I wanted then, if it wasn't money or words. So I turned to our little Shadowbane and asked what he wanted. But he just stood there quietly. Can't blame them. He's a little scarier than your parents. So you helped him with the decision. Not exactly. Walked over to him and handed him my spear.
She said, "This is your choice. Make it." It felt like she was passing some of her courage onto me.
He stepped forward, my spear in hand, took off his hood. He was... I'll spare you the details. They recognized him, of course.
Barf!
Had the audacity to act surprised.
Surprised is one way to put it. When they talked, they sounded so... like they thought I had died.
You could have. They left you.
I wanted to say something. If anything, yell, tell them to get lost, scream at them for what they've done to me, but all that came out was, "Why did you leave?" Their silence went on for so long.
It would have been longer if those tides hadn't come rushing in. You did kind of walk into that one. Kind of. Luckily, I was quick. Got us all up on some muddy rock the waves couldn't reach. How long were you up there for? A couple of hours?
Left us a lot of time to talk.
Did you?
Yes, a lot. For example, did you know the primordial flood was caused by the pyre erupting?
The Pyre? You mean the biggest volcano in all of Asteria, nestled right in Leviathan's domain?
Yeah. Apparently it erupted, then collapsed, covered all of the primordial sea in ash, and set off a tsunami.
It should not be doing that.
No. Do you think powerful magic was afoot?
Probably not. What use is a giant tsunami to anyone?
Maybe they wanted to be wet.
Probably not. Are tsunamis all that cause... Are tsunamis and their causes all you and your parents talked about?
No. Mostly we talked about the leaving thing. They said not a day went by when they didn't regret what they had done. I asked why they didn't come back then. They didn't have an answer for that. Mom said she was proud of my knife-throwing skills, though. I never thought they'd apologize. They owned up to all of it, as awful as it was. I hadn't planned for that. They wanted to make up for everything, and to be part of my life. They said it was up to me and what I wanted.
What do you want?
A family. Is that stupid?
No, it's not. So you forgave them?
No, not yet. I have to see if they actually mean what they said first. I can't trust them right now. We don't really know each other anymore. Who knows if we'll get along? They said they wanted to get to know me, and I think I might like that too. They're just so different. Feels like I'm angry at people that don't exist anymore.
You're still allowed to be angry. Even if they change, they hurt you. Neither forgiveness nor forgetting is required.
It just feels unfair. Like I'm harboring resentment for ghosts. But I'll try to be honest with them. I owe that to myself. Plus, Jade threatened to decapitate them if they ever hurt me again.
They'd stand no chance.
None. Could I have a drink now, too?
Sure, let's trade.
Right. A joke?
No, a name. I assume Jade didn't know you as Kumo because your parents didn't call you that.
Correct.
What did they call you then?
I'm not.
I'll trade you my name. Just give the guy a drink. Your first name? Those are quite precious to Maida, right? Very. But I'm not joking. I'll trade it. I'm listening. Ulyssia. Sorry. It's a beautiful name. I'll respond to flattery, but thank you.
It's definitely better than mine.
Yours fits you too?
It does not.
If you say so. So, not Ulyssia. What would you like in exchange?
Maybe something that'll stop me from choking on my words. In case I have to do more of this emotional thing.
Definitely got something for that. He likes the pretty frou-frou drinks. What was it? 1,000 Winds? Yeah. About Sunny Breeze. Give him a Sunny Breeze. A little baby man. You know, all his deep-rooted emotional trauma. Boop. Look, it's got a butterfly on it. Here you are. Some emotional vulnerability.
It tastes a lot better than it sounds.
Feels a lot better, too.
Maybe.
I still need to call you something else if Kumo is out, right?
It is.
What have you got for me, then?
I'm running out of names. Jade, can I?
Nope. My name.
Fine. How about, Dave?
You know what? Sure, I'll go with that. I'm proud of you, Dave. For everything you've gone through. For choosing what's right for you.
Thank you.
Do you need a hug?
May have already gotten one from Jade.
Speaking of me, I gotta go. Want to check in with Grace and her goons. See you around, Airboy.
See you around, Ulyssia.
What about you? Care to linger a little longer?
I need some time to think. All this over. Maybe even feel it too. Is Fable back yet? I think cheesecake would make for a great distraction right about now.
No. I thought maybe you ran into them on the way back.
I didn't. So Melly isn't back yet either.
No. No, I'm afraid not.
Cool. Great. I guess I'll talk to
Carolyn? Your parents?
Maybe. Do you think they still love me?
I don't know. I hope they do. I hope they'll love you well, but I don't know. I do know that other people love you, and that if all your parents and that if your parents fail to live up to what you deserve, you won't be loved any less.
I'd like to believe that. Sometimes I just think if even my own parents could leave me, anyone can.
Don't measure your worth by the actions of the people that hurt you. Nothing good can come of that.
I'm very thankful to have met you. Anyway, I'm also part of the night, or whatever, so I must go. Farewell.
See you soon. I love our little chats. Boy, the chapters are flying by today. We might actually end the game. I wonder how many chapters there are. Surely not more than 20. Chapter 20, Chaos Protocol. Melly. From rags to riches. Innkeeper! Surprise! It's nice to see you're back. Is Fable with you? No! Should they be? They were looking for you. You're a very good detective then. I'm happy to see you're well, Melly. Everyone was worried about you. Why? I'm great at taking care of myself. You are, but where have you been all this time? Investigating things, obviously, like the flood. My investigation led me to Morlia. Or more like, they did. Nico, Voy, and Hex, I mean. I followed them to Morlia. They were talking about mysteries and puzzles, and I'm trying to solve a mystery, so couldn't let the opportunity pass me by. You're lucky. People usually pay a lot of money to spend time with me. Why? Because I'm like famous? But I didn't go there because of you. I was following clues. Okay. I stayed outside. My case isn't about a wizard. Not this time. Where's Hex anyway? You know, doing wizard things. Like arson? That would have been fun, but instead he chose to study. He immediately wanted to check out the spells we found. Though he seemed pretty disheartened. How come? Not sure. I guess he didn't find what he was looking for. Maybe because the world's greatest treasure was already traveling with him. What would that be? Me. Never mind. He told us to keep an eye out for any time magic razzle-dazzle. But we found nothing. At least you managed to get inside and return safe. Wait, that's me. At least you managed to get inside and return safely. Yeah. The way there was easy peasy. We got there thanks to Nico pulling off a shapeshifting trick, then pretending to be a merchant. Stole some guy's coat and face, and used his reputation to secure us a boat ride to Morlia. Said I wanted to meet the real estate agent from the Medjocracy to buy the island. Thought I told them to pick us up in a week or so. By then we'd be far gone. What happened once you reached the island? I'm quite intrigued. Before we tell you anything, I'd like a drink. Something that goes down like honey and will make my poetry flow like a wild river. Nothing easier than that. You want charisma juice, and I will give you, I don't know, this one with the crazy straw. Put a little flour in there. I think it's like a honeydew flower. Yeah, that was a hint to what he might have wanted. Bloop. Some honey for those vocal cords. Enjoy. That's what I'm talking about. Amazing. Can we move to the story now? You got somewhere to be? Nah, I'm just getting bored. We got to Morlia, an island so small it's basically the tower's wild backyard. As I walked between the crystalline roses, I expected to see some secret passages hiding behind every corner. I almost brought you back a rose. Why didn't you? I thought you wouldn't like it. I would have. Oh, okay, that's moving on. The tower itself so high, I thought I might be reaching out to kiss the moon itself. It was really tilted at about a 5-degree angle. measured it with my paws. The bricks are still wet. I'm sure the tsunami shook its foundation. You'd think the waves would have done us a favor and knocked down the door, but nope. The door was a first challenge. Inako's lockpicks broke. Seemed like a skill issue. Broke? Skill issue? The door ate my lockpicks. A door mimic, the classic first step to securing your establishment. Talk like you've seen one before. You ever tried to open my door when the inn's closed? No. If you do, don't use any lockpicks and take care of your fingertips. So, how'd you get inside? By charming it. Hex forgot his spell book and couldn't get the arcane unlock spell to work. And obviously, it wouldn't just let us in like that. So I decided to play the mimic a tune. Yeah, that was amazing, bro. Your fancy tunes are the GOAT. I was nervous. I never played in front of a mimic before, so I wasn't sure what their taste in music was. I decided to play something emotional. Something that would melt its metaphorical heart. A song of woe. Who would have thought it would literally melt? Yeah. I began playing my first tune and the lock started weeping before I reached the chorus. The tears were streaming down his face. And as if they were very hot and made of acid, the door melted away. Afterwards, the lock lay in a puddle of wood, sobbing and thanking me for my performance. It's not a very sturdy lock. It just sounds very in touch with its emotions. We stepped over the door's remains and into the tower. It was so much taller and bigger on the inside. Like a pocket dimension, so freaking cool. Except the tower can't really fit in your pocket. Bet. Hex walked ahead. Guy was really distracted. He didn't even listen to my poem about the symbiotic relationship between axe and door. For a long time we didn't encounter anything, just a long hallway. No doors, only a bunch of strange paintings. Of course, most hallways can't go on forever, so we eventually reached the staircase. After what felt like 5.5 minutes. Eternity. Meanwhile, I was outside, investigating the flora and fauna. Everything was very peculiar, like it was all from another world. The colors were different, very blue and almost spectral. There were a lot of spider webs, or yarn, not sure which. Suddenly, the ground shook, almost knocked me off my feet. Who would have guessed there were pressure plates on those stairs? I wasn't paying attention and was too careless. One wrong step and a pressure plate triggered an explosion and... CRUNK! The whole staircase began crumbling down into a pit of nothingness. Bit by bit, starting from the bottom. I rushed upwards to safety, away from the weird wizard abyss. I stumbled, and if it hadn't been for Hex, I'd be mush. He grabbed my hand and pulled me up. But he isn't the strongest, so we almost stumbled down together instead. I figured I just couldn't leave them to fall to their pathetic destiny. So I zoomed down, grabbed Hex by his collar, and pulled them both him and Voy Boy back up. Thank you for saving us, Nico. No problem, Voy Boy. Don't get used to it. Didn't you expect a trap like that? After all, a great wizard would want to protect... I'm falling apart today. Would want to protect their treasure. I guess we were all a little distracted by all the gold hanging from the walls. The staircase ended in a wondrous library that spiraled endlessly higher around the tower's inside walls. We lost Hex at the bottom in the first row of books. A lot of them were drenched. Didn't seem like the tower was waterproof. There was still primordial water dripping from somewhere above. Couldn't make out the ceiling, tried to reach it though. Second story of the spiral staircase library had 3 paths leading away.
Each path ended in a door, and all 3 doors were closed and marked with runes and paintings or rusty locks. I got sucked in looking into the library's beautiful murals. Each of them depicted a different story. One of them was the mosaic of mirrors. That one was my favorite.
Watching Hex look at the books was like reading a thriller. Almost every second book was rigged with a trap, but he figured out the pattern real quickly. Something Fibonacci Adike.
Once I was able to pry myself from the murals, I started looking for spell things. I knew Hex was most interested in, you know, you help where you can.
I didn't. Mostly I looked at the small treasures lying around. Wizard had a really cool staff with a chonker of a gemstone embedded at the top. Imagine the damage I could do with that. But I also found something that was really cool. Here, take a look. It's dope, right? What is it? Where is it? What is this? It's a weather jar. Duh. Shows what the weather is like in another realm. Where is it? I didn't see it appear. I see. Let me guess. Avalon? I knew you'd get it.
I found some spell scrolls. One of them had golden runes in it. Hess liked that one, but he didn't love it, you know? Then, nestled between a few red velvet armchairs, I found a glass case. It had a golden frame and a scroll placed inside, neatly in the middle. The scroll was floating and all that. I knew Hex was looking for some spells, so I called for him. As soon as I mentioned the oddly floating scroll, he came sprinting upwards, staring at the glass case. He already had a scroll tucked into his coat. Honestly, I was expecting him to be carrying half the library at that point. But I guess that would have been too heavy for him.
Of course, that stupid glass case was also a puzzle.
Had no lock, no lid, no nothing, just a glass in a gold frame.
The scroll itself was promising blue. I suggested breaking the glass. Hex gave me his finest death glare.
So he investigated the puzzle himself.
While they were doing boring side quests, I made sure to stuff my pockets. Found it a jeweled silver paperweight shaped like a bird. That'll make for a great blunt weapon.
Hex was so scared we'd destroy the scroll by triggering it another contraption, so he suggested we look around the adjacent rooms.
The riddle doors.
Hex only had to look at them for a mere second before figuring them out. Apparently all those murals and runes were referencing a story hidden somewhere in the library.
So he made us search for it.
It was tricky. We didn't want to trigger the book traps after all. It was like the library knew that what would tempt us the most. I kept seeing books about forgotten songs and rare instruments and romantic poetry.
And I saw books about burglary and fraud.
Even had you tackle you to the ground one time so you wouldn't blow us all up.
Who can resist a good scheme?
It was kinda exciting, seeing Hex hop up and down the stairs looking for all the right books. First password was password, the second password was passwords past the password. And the third one was passwords past the password's password.
You wish, but no.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Easy to crack, good for you.
The first room was in the alchemy lab, full of apparatuses I'd never seen before. Most of the liquids had gone dry, but Hex insisted on taking what was ever left along with us anyways.
Wouldn't let me taste any though. Nerd was more interested in studying in the study hidden behind the second door. He was really determined to crack all the old wizard's mysteries. We helped where we could, but listen, I only have like 3 brain cells. The soundscape of the tower was kinda depressing. Silence broke only by the dripping of water and the creaking old wood. So I sweetened it with a little song. It was easy to get in the flow with that bomb music, boyo. Thank you? Hex didn't find the key to the glass case, but at least he found the blueprints showing how it was built. Maybe he can find out how to open it using that. That'd be nice. He was pretty beaten up about everything, though. Yeah, I couldn't find what he was looking for. Not even in the third room? No. That one was a gym. Didn't know wizards worked out. Maybe it was just a distraction from the hidden vault. A hidden vault? Anything good in there? Oh yeah! More than our arms could carry. A bunch of artifacts. Most of them probably cursed. Which makes them even cooler. But Innkeep, you don't know the funniest part yet. Enlighten me. The whole time the wizard had a spare key to the tower under the doormat. The oldest habit of all time. We didn't even think about checking for it. I did, but I wanted them to find it for themselves. When they left the tower, I was at the beach with Jade. She had arrived a while ago to pick us up, and I was teaching Onyx the new tricks. She helped us heave all the loot onto her boat. We couldn't take everything with us, so we decided to head back there again another day. There's one thing that doesn't make sense in this equation, though. That would be Inako, Boy, and Hex traveled alone. Well, except for me, they're stowaway. Yet I found a fresh set of footprints by the coast, or Jade even ever arrived. Like there was a 5th person on the island. Or maybe someone was there just shortly before us. We didn't even notice, lol. Just like we didn't notice Melina. Sorry for staying in so long. Don't apologize. I think you just proved your skills as a detective. We got a lot to learn from you. What a story. I can't wait to share it with Archie. I'll be on my way now. Gotta check him on Hex and make sure he didn't accidentally take a book mimic home. You coming with, Nico? Sure thing. So long, Innkeep. Goodbye, Innkeeper. Don't miss me too much. I'll try not to. Now it's just you and me, Innkeeper. Indeed. I'm glad you're back. You're making it sound like I was lost. I was just investigating. Without telling anyone. I don't need to tell you where I'm going. People care about you, Melly. They get worried if they don't know where you are. Oh. I'm not used to that. But I care about people too, like you. That's good to hear.
Melly.
Hi, Aura. Hi, Dave.
Oh, that name is so outdated. You're back.
I am. Did you miss me?
Did I? I was just very worried. What?
You called me Melly.
What about it?
You've never done that before.
I'm sure I have.
You even said you'd never call me Melly.
I'm just glad you're back.
Welcome back to my tavern, Dave. That's a cute one.
Yeah, I got it on my latest quest.
Dave, you made a good choice. I also went on a quest. Well, at first I wanted to find the moon swamps. You know, a mysterious magical swamp that is said to be magically hidden and only appears on foggy but starry nights. I'd heard there's somewhere in the moon swamp near the portal to the Twilight Chasm. And did you find anything? No. I did find some weird way markers made of bones that seemed to lead somewhere. They had "Do Not Touch" written on them, and the paint even seemed fresh, so it looked like a perfect clue. Then, suddenly, there were just gallons of water everywhere. Luckily, I got away quick, and since I was already there, as Fazoa's best detective, it was my duty to discover the flood's origins. Well, at first, I was more of a stowaway than a detective. I also couldn't figure out what...
Don't start my life like that ever again. Do you understand? I was so worried, and no one knew anything about your whereabouts.
Now... I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have yelled at you like that.
Done with the walk? Good. Hope it was a good one. I hope it's at least nice and cool in the mornings. Not much of a summer person, I probably said that.
It's just... I haven't cared about anyone in so long. And with you and Fable both suddenly gone, I didn't know what to do.
I thought you didn't care. After you went away, even though I asked you to be more careful. I thought maybe you didn't want to be my trusty assistant after all. So I went to investigate alone.
I'm sorry for leaving.
It's alright. I'm used to people leaving and not coming back.
I do care, Millie. I'm just kinda new to this whole honesty thing.
In Florida it's hot, but I do a ice water face dunk so it's refreshing. That does sound fun.
I'm kinda new to this whole empathy thing.
Yeah, I figured. If you'd like, I could fix you a drink to help you find your words again.
Don't know if I can think of a joke in exchange for a drink right now.
It's on me today. Got enough to worry about. So, let me see what I can do for you. You go back to crazy straws for this guy. Badoop. I visited Florida once. I did not survive. This game is pretty cool. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. It's a good story. It's a little hard on my voice to be Batman all the time. But it's good. It wasn't on my radar. These kind of games don't like end up on people's radar very often, I don't think. But there's this weird genre of like barkeep simulators, like Coffee Talk. I want to say like Valhalla spelled with like a bunch of ones. It's like a cyberpunk tavern. I think I said Coffee Talk, but like it's a weird genre that's kind of popping up. I feel like it's a comfy transition into like visual novels that people don't usually do. And you got to really like the heat to live here. Well, you're raised in Boston until you couldn't take it anymore. You love cyberpunk? You know, that's an idea. I hear Cyberpunk 2077 is a good game now. And I never played it, so I think that could be a good stream sometime. I'm thinking about it. I'll think about it harder. We just finished a bunch of games, so I'm like I've got a million game ideas in my head of what I want to play. Like there's Inscription, Dave the Diver, Once Human. What's the name of that one? The Cyberpunk Valhalla story? Or that one I want to say is like Valhalla with the ones. You you were so ready when that game dropped, but it was so bad. Yeah. I was pretty skeptical about that one, like the entire time. And so when it dropped and was terrible, I was just like, oof, sounds about right. But I'm amazed that they stuck with it until it was good. Yeah. I heard that the game was finally ready to be released this year. I also heard from a friend that the game wasn't that bad when it came out. But I don't know, I never tried. So, I don't know. It could be an exciting time if we play through that. I'll check on the analytics, see if the internet wants me to play that. Anyway, enjoy your magical liquid eloquence.
It doesn't taste half bad. This might actually help. So, your quest. Jade said you were stranded on Morlia.
Yep. Followed 3 very suspicious looking fellows and somehow ended up on that island. Your spirit is so from Cyberpunk era that you're here for anything to play it. You're going to play Once Human soon. I might play Once Human soon as well. If you play it before me, let me know what server you're on. As for Cyberpunk, did you ever play the Shadowrun games? So they made a few like Shadowrun RPGs. They kind of play like Baldur's Gate. Those are pretty cool. There was a fun one out there. Oop, that's my alarm. I gotta hurry through this so I can get my kids to camp on time. Hopefully they don't wander off into the woods again today. But yeah, there were some pretty good Shadowrun CRPGs that were worth playing. You have Baldur's Gate? Baldur's Gate is a good game. Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game. Haven't played it yet. I'd recommend it. I mean, I feel like you're going to play it eventually. It was Game of the Year last year. And people are still playing it a ton. Anyway. Yep, I followed 3 very suspicious looking fellows and somehow ended up on that island. You're new to it and don't like to run alone? Yeah, that's fair. Why do I always run into wizards and magic when I'm out on adventures? The co-op in Baldur's Gate 3 is pretty great. I think they could have handled like the decision making a little better. But it was fun. I played with friends a little bit. And traps, magical traps everywhere.
Sounds very dangerous.
A detective's always seeking thrills. I'll make sure to be careful, I promise.
It's not about that. I know you know how to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you would have solved the T-Rex case. Or you wouldn't have. But don't keep putting your own life at risk in exchange for a quick adventure.
You've been on PC for 3 years now and you're still exploring so many games. There's so many good ones out there. I've got tons of recommendations if you're ever in the mood for a specific genre. You might have noticed I play a wide variety of different games, and so I'm always looking for like the best of the best in each genre. Right now I'm looking for a decent looter shooter. I feel like Borderlands is kind of the best. A lot of people like Destiny and Warframe, but the monetization pieces of those always get me. Same, that's why you love my channel? Same, yeah. A lot of people like pick one type of game or even one game exactly, and they're like, this is what I want to do forever. And then they put like 10,000 hours into it and they're like, yeah, this is great. Not me. Destiny disappointed you with the pay-to-play issues? See, when Destiny 1 came out 1,000 years ago, it was great. And then they were like, oh, let's make it free to play. And unfortunately, I think they made a ton of money. And so, like, every looter shooter after that tries to copy that. And it makes me sad and angry. It makes me sangry.
Luckily, nothing major happened this time. This could have all ended very differently.
I know.
All I'm saying is, don't disappear again. Please. You're not alone anymore. You don't have to do everything all by yourself.
Like, you're one to talk. I think you got a point there, Melly. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to him as well. You're both guilty. But you two have also made a lot of progress already. Your ADHD is way too curious to sit still in one genre. I love to experience different things. Yeah. It was like that for me in Elden Ring. Like, I put 80 hours into this recent playthrough. Like, by hour 60, I was like, I just want it to be over. I got other things to do. Like, it's a great game, and I had fun the entire time. But man, it's rough.
Heard anything from Fable yet?
No, not yet. What about Carolyn? She came back after the flood. Currently, she's investigating some undead sightings in the Pale Woods. Oh, it was great to watch. Oh, man. The last boss, he was the most infuriating guy in the universe. Then I had to do a bunch of research, watch like how other people fought him, like get the hang of him. It wasn't so bad after that. You played it vicariously through me? Yeah, that's what I'd recommend. That's half of why I played Elden Ring on stream. I'm like, I think a lot of people would love this game, but don't actually want to go through the suffering. Like, people want to see what the deal is about it. But, you know, don't want to die a million times. And I am good enough that it wouldn't be boring, I hope. Anyway, she came back after the flood. Currently, she's investigating some undead sightings in the Pale Wood. Do you know when she'll be back? No, but the two of you can wait here for her if you want. Yes, please. I want to stay until Carolyn gets back. It was great. I'm glad you liked it.
Alright, I'll keep you company.
How about I spice up your wait with another drink?
I'll pass.
Oh, but I'd like one, please. Of course. You want anything specific? The whole adventure was pretty exhausting. Maybe something to combat my mental tiredness? Nothing easier than that. Let's get some coffee in this child's stat. Oh. Coffee is a fight drink. Alright. Apparently there's like a 2-ingredient difference between coffee and this. Let's put some Thunder Sage in there. Add some purple drink. Way better than Sunny D. Boop. Let's see if this will wake you up again. Oh, thank you. This is delicious. I can feel my synapses connecting. You know, now that I've had some time to think about it, I think I figured out why Hex was so bummed about the loot. Care to share your insight with us? But of course, he has a younger sister, right? Which always struck me as odd. She looks so much older than him. So what if she just ages faster than he does? And he expected to find some very special loot in that wizard tower, but he didn't find it. So, what if he was looking for something to extend her life? Like a scroll of immortality.
What a foolish idea.
Greetings, hope everyone is doing well. We are. I am, at least, Darth Chaos. Came in right at the end. We'll be done after this chapter. Hey.
Not you, Hex. Even if it's tempting, those are powers that no one should interfere with.
I agree. What if she turns into a zombie? I've had enough of them. Man. Best viewers, cheap viewers, free viewers. I'm banning everybody. I keep getting around my carefully crafted auto detect blockers. You can take some quick clonidine and Focalin XR, or FR, whatever.
Definitely.
We should tell him when we see him again. Or maybe we should tell Carolyn when she returns. She seems to be experienced with dealing with the undead. You think it'll be a long time before she gets back? I don't know. Could be very soon, but it could take a few more days. You had a long day. Aren't you tired, Melly?
No.
Wait, no. I'm not tired at all.
Let's wait for a little bit longer. Maybe she'll show up and Fable with her.
Sounds good. Did she fall asleep?
Yeah. Maybe I should bring her home and wrap this up for tonight.
That's a good idea. You should get some rest as well. I'll let you know if I hear anything about Carolyn or Fable.
Alright. There's not much for me to do otherwise.
Except care for Melly. She needs you.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
Good night, Dave.
You know, forget it. See ya.
Oh, there's the weather bottle. Alright, that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching, everybody. I had a great time. I gotta get my kids to camp. Oh, and then I have to go to the dentist. I may have a sugary heart, but my teeth are also very sugary. Well, see if we get a bad prognosis. But, thank you, everybody. We'll wrap this game up tomorrow, same time, 4:30 a.m. Central. And, hopefully, we don't wrap it up in like the first half hour of the stream. I'll come up with a backup plan just in case. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Have a great day. Tell the kiddos to have fun and no wandering. I tell them that every time. But wanderers be wanderers. Alright. Stick around. We'll find somebody to raid. Tell the wife to have an awesome day as well. I will. Jeff Bay. Oh, Jafaza just started their stream. I love their timing. Let's get him off to a good start. He's gonna play It Takes Two. I wonder if he's playing with a friend. Good night, everybody. Or morning, whatever.